that we are the number one online New Thought spiritual community streaming from Chicago. I want to welcome in some new people or some new, at least some new platforms, and we'll see later if there are many of them that have actually logged in. But we've opened it up to some additional platforms, and that would be LinkedIn Live and Twitch. So we're live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, and of course on our own page. Wow, that's exciting. Well, those of you that have been here before know that today is the day that we have a live chat and we discuss a book that we have made available for the last month for people to take a look at and to read and so forth and so on. And when you think about what's the purpose of this, what's the purpose of this online uh, book club, virtual book club? Well, it's an opportunity for people to be focused from the same place, the same reading material. And those that get a chance to read it prior to the third Sunday of the month may have questions or they may have comments. And we open the floor for questions and comments. You can make those on Facebook and also on YouTube. So if you're looking on another platform and there's an opportunity to make a comment, the service that we use, the streaming service that we use, will get comments and questions, will retrieve them from Facebook and from YouTube, but not it will not aggregate comments and questions from other sources. So just know that. And if you ask from another source, we will get a chance to take a look at them later and get back to you and answer whatever question or respond to whatever comment you might have. Wow. The unlimited abundance of the universe. I'm so excited to spend the next 40 minutes or so discussing that with you. And have some other house cleaning that I want to share with you uh, about today's material. Um, Now, if you've read it, you know that it's in sections, and each section has a separate, like a chapter, has a separate title and seemingly a separate focus. But the fact of the matter is that the material in any one of the chapters actually can be moved to another chapter because the material is so similar in the fact of its focus. It's focused on what we as an individual can do to implement more abundance flowing in our lives, no matter if that abundance is health or finances or joy or whatever it may be. So that's something that we want to kind of keep our mind on, that it's not separate, it's one. And this is something that we teach and that we subscribe to in our teachings of New Thought metaphysics. Another thing for people who are just coming on from even from Whofish, if you want to know more about what we do and how we do it and our particular philosophy and how we approach things, I invite you to go to our website, unityocs.org, and there is a text number there. And if you text that number, um, you will receive a series of information to give you more about the philosophy and our purpose and our focus. Okay. Now, this material today that some of you read, some of you have not read, I want to say that it is both a diagnose as well as it prescribes. It diagnoses and says, well, these are the issues that you very well may be facing in your challenge for abundance in your life. These are the issues. And these are the remedies that could help you overcome and get past those issues. Diagnose and prescribe. Uh, the thing about it, and the reason that it was chosen, is that it is not a reading or material that's just full of affirmations. Although affirmations are there, and if you've read, you know that it actually indicates that you cannot change your life with just affirmations. But with the affirmation, you get some concrete steps to take to make the adjustments that you say that you want in your life, right? So it gives us techniques, let us say, that will allow us to implement them to change, or in other words, not just change, but to transform our life. Yeah. No? If you read it, you know that. If you didn't read it, that's the last thing I want to mention about that. If you did not read it, this is an opportunity to kind of get a preview of what it says to see if you might want to take it a little further and read the information for yourself to see how it can be beneficial to you. Huh? Yes. But with all of that, I want to remind each and every one of you that are out there today or that watch this later on, there is an infinite source that is available to everyone. It's there for each who seek it, no matter their race, gender, or religion. Believe what you may, but you should know that the source of the universe is also the source of each of us. Think about that. The source of the universe has to be the source of each of us, as we're a part of the universe. And with that in mind, we should understand that the principle supporting the stars is the principle supporting and available to each of us. As I declare this statement in the first person, I'm declaring it for all. I am open and receptive to this divine living principle. Mother, Father, God, I am grateful. And as I accept it, so it becomes in my life. And so it is. And so it is. Okay. Let's get into the goodies, right? Let's get into the goodies. We should understand, it says this in the book, and I want to read a quote right out of there. How to Fill Your Life with Unlimited Abundance. It says, a lot has to do with how you attract the abundance in your life, not just money and possessions, but also people, relationships, and jobs. Think about that. Everything that you have in your life somehow has been attracted to your universe. And it says how you feel about what and whom you already have in your life has a great deal to do with the abundance you find yourself enjoying. And we're reminded that abundance is not a destination, but a journey. Wow. Not a destination, but a journey. Um, Holistic. One of the features that is important about this particular reading material is that it does take a holistic approach to abundance, not just money, not just people, not just health, not just joy, but a holistic all of it. Now, what does that mean? What that simply means is that The attitude that you develop, the attitude that you create, the attitude that you generate, the feelings that you generate are not just for one particular thing. And if you find yourself with issues in particular areas of your life, but you have joy in other areas, it's really saying, look at the areas that you have joy in and see how you think and feel about the things and the people in those areas. Huh? To think about it. And the first area that we always are interested in, correct, is financial abundance. Financial abundance. Yeah. Well, the key, the tag here is that when you think about financial abundance, even though we're saying it's a holistic approach, but sometimes I just need some money, you know? When you think about a financial abundance, we are told here in these writings that we should understand that the universe that we live in is an abundant universe. That the universe that we live in is an abundant universe. Wow. Now, for some of you, you say, "Oh, I know this, and I live the greatest life in the world on in all areas of my life," and that's a wonderful thing. And I hope you're sharing that, as it says a little bit later in our readings. Hope you're sharing that with others, and I know some of you are. But if I live in an abundant universe, why is there any shortage of any type in my life? Why? Scripture tells us that it's the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom, the whole kingdom. In fact, we've had sermons, celebrations that emphasize the fact that we already even have the kingdom. So, if that's the case, why are there challenges in my life that seem like shortages of friends, shortages of money, shortages of opportunity? Again, look at the good stuff. Look at the joy that you have, wherever it is. It doesn't matter. We're not judging, well, I get joy from this, and I don't think people like that particular activity. But why do you get joy from that particular activity? What is it about that particular activity? And how is your attitude toward that particular activity? Because that's the key to the shortages in our lives. Usually, if we examine, this writing certainly gives us an opportunity to examine. If we examine, we will find that we don't feel the same way about the things that we are lacking or feel that we are lacking as we do about the things that bring us joy. And the idea is to bring into concert with each other the joy and that which we say we want, even before we get it. Even before we get it. Yeah. So, financial abundance, holistic as it is important. But let's understand the holistic abundance encompasses abundance in every area. And we're going to look at a few of those. And of course, even though it's a short read, we cannot go through every paragraph and every sentence that is in the writings, but we can give an overview, kind of bring it together. And again, for those that have not read it, maybe that will encourage them to go back and read it. Possibly, possibly not. Mental. The writings tell us that this mental abundance is tied to the blocks that you have in your life. So if I feel like if I think on a abundant level, that's the mental part. If I think on that level, then I'm probably having abundance flowing in my life. But if I'm talking on that level, oh yeah, I believe it. I believe it. He's saying, but if you're saying it, but you're not having it, there probably are some blocks, some mental blocks that are stopping the flow of the universe's abundance into your life. And we're told that we should examine what those blocks are. We should investigate what they are, examine deep why they're there, and then allow them to dissipate from our life. That we don't have to have these mental blocks, no matter where they have come from. If it was from childhood, it's from parents, it's from education, wherever, from religion, wherever they may have come from, that indicates that we should not have all that the Father's good pleasure to give us. If we're not experiencing that and we choose to, then let's take a look at how our mind works, thinks, functions around the idea of abundance. And we may find that there are some things in there that unless we release, we are never going to have the fulfillment that we say we want. I passed by a traditional church this morning and I saw so many people going in. And I know, this is not a dig, but I know that this particular teaching speaks of someone outside of you blessing you or doing something for you. What we're being told here in this writing and in this particular area, the mental abundance, is that as long as we see this outside of ourselves, we have a block because we must. I do say must, and if you follow me, you know I don't like a lot of must and have tos, but that we must move mentally in accord with the universe that is an abundant universe. So we have to find ways to move those blocks out the way that are inhibiting us from thinking on that order. And one of those things is that it's outside of us. We are in the universe and the universe is in us. It's not outside of us. Mental blocks. Wow. That's pretty good. I like that. I don't know about you, but I can start with my thinking. I can start with what I think and why I think it. And I can begin there to move those blocks out the way. I don't have to say that I don't have any mental blocks. They don't. Just examine it. Talk with someone that you trust. And once you see what they are, you can begin to move them out the way. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It works for everyone. It works for me. It works for you. There's something holding us back, and it's in our mind. It's in our thinking, and our thinking controls our acting. Wow. Now, as I said, the sections here, or the chapters here, even though there are 8 chapters, 8 headings, 8 topics, 8 sections, we can we don't have to say, oh, that's just for the mental, because that those ideas move into other areas. Oh, the financial is just for the financial, because what we find there moves into and works in other areas. Emotional. I want abundance, but I'm a miserable person. I want abundance. I feel terrible about my life. I want more, and the reason I feel terrible is because I don't have enough. And we're told in this particular section how important it is to develop attitudes and habits, attitudes and habits of love, of happiness, of harmony. Say, well, that all sounds good. It sounds good, but I understand. It sounds good, but now think about this. Let's just take the last one, harmony. Do you really think that you can be out of harmony with the universe and still receive the abundance of the universe that's already present. Many times, the reason that we're not expressing the harmony of abundance that the universe already has is because we're not in alignment because of the harmony that's lacking in our lives. Well, that sounds pretty good. Sounds a little out there. Not really. Find ways to be happy. To be happy with what you have. He tells us, the writer tells us that. I want to keep referring to it as he, but the writer tells us that we must find ways. What is it that makes us happy? Going right back to looking at what do we have in our lives, what makes us feel good in our lives. As you can see, the strand is just moving right through it. Okay, it started off with financially, you want to find what makes you happy, and then you want to get into this harmonious relationship with the universe to increase the abundance of what? Happiness and joy in your life. To increase the abundance of happiness and joy in your life. And when you find what you are happy about, you can have more of it. Finance, whatever it might be. Again, I want to emphasize, don't look at just one particular section and say, oh, yeah, this is what I'm missing. It's a holistic. So it may seem like I'm missing love in my life, but the same thing that is required for you to allow the finance to flow in your life is the same thing that you do to allow the love to flow in your life. Wow. Huh? Hopefully we're kind of getting this how to fill your life with unlimited abundance is not just about how to fill your life with more money. It's abundance in all areas. And then we're getting the steps required. Well, let us say not the steps. Let us say we're getting the support that can help us achieve our goal. This again, it's a diagnosis and it's a prescription. They diagnose and they give a cure. And it's up to us to implement the cure in our life. It's up to us. It's not outside of us. I wish. I sat at the feet of the great Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman, and she would say on many occasions from the platform, if I could, I would pour this into you, but I can't. You have to get it yourself. We have to get it ourselves. We have to get it ourselves. The universe is supporting us already. And we have to open ourselves up to that support and let it work for the abundance that we want in our lives. Yes. Physical health. Physical health. We jumped ahead of ourselves here. Not really. I jumped ahead. Okay. Emotional. Emotional abundance. Oh. Physical health. Physician, heal thyself. So this leads right into uh, what I mentioned about it's not outside of us, it's within us. Now I want to, be clear here. And what the writings are telling us is not that we shouldn't seek help. The help that we're seeking, though, we should understand is to ignite the healing process that's already in us, regardless of whether it's a physical healing process, whether it's an emotional healing process, whatever it is, there is an abundance of health already in the universe, and therefore it is in us. And we need to, again, when I go there, we should want to find the keys within us initiate, to ignite that process. Now, if we go back to mental blocks, if we go back to uh, the emotional abundance, if we go back to the financial abundance, if we go back to any particular area and we understand that it's holistic, we can see that it really doesn't matter what it is that we feel that we have a shortage of in our life. The fact of the matter is, the process is the same. It's a change in our thinking, it's a change in our approach, it's a change in our vision. You say, well, what do you mean when it's a change in our vision? The writer tells us, it's like, how do you see things? And then challenges us to see something in our life as good. Something. See something in our life as whole. And it doesn't matter if that's about our health, our physical health, our emotional health, whatever it is, our physical health. Oh, I can walk a block. I know I'm wheezing. I know I'm coughing. I know I'm limping. I know it takes me longer than it's ever take, but I can walk a block. I can walk a half a block. I can walk up the stairs. I can walk down the stairs. It's a wonderful thing that I have this. And if this is in me to be able to do this, and this universe is abundant, then there's more opportunities for me to do more than the stair, than the block. As opposed to, if I walk one block, I'm just so tired. Now, one of the things that's misunderstood about our practice and our teachings, New Thought metaphysics, is the fact that we're supposed to say, I walk that block and it's wonderful and I'm not out of breath. And yeah, I'm out of breath. And it was just a block, but I know there's more in there because it was a block. And that's really what our teachings are all about. Not just affirmations, as we're told in these writings, but changing how we see it to try to work to make an effort to see the positivity as much and as often as we can. It's a lot different than, you know, well, that's good, but over here, oh my God, this is so terrible. Moving us from those mental blocks, that's a mental block. Moving us beyond that, not just in dollars, but in all areas of my life. There are people that say, I don't have anyone to care about me. And it'll be pointed out to them that, well, you have this friend and you have this coworker and you have an aunt or uncle or whatever. And they say, but that's not the same. See, that's not the same as what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a different kind of caring about. And so what we're being told in this writing is that, yeah, it's not the same. And you can focus on it not being the same, or you can focus on having it. And we're told if you focus on having it, the aunt, the uncle, the coworker, the friend, whatever it is, if you focus on that, you began to open up a path for more of that to enter, as opposed to, I don't have what I want. You see? Wow. Wow. Remember, this is interactive. So if if you have a question or comment, just and you're on Facebook or YouTube again, because those are areas that we definitely can address, and we'll find out if we can do anything with some of the others. But I know Facebook and YouTube, we're told that they will aggregate those comments and questions and bring them right to us. Right? Okay. Remember, this is Unity of Chicago South. This is our third Sunday. Every third Sunday of the month, we do a virtual book club. And we put the material on our website, unityocs.org. in the downloads, on the downloads page. Downloads, that's with an S. Downloads page. And prior, previous book club readings are up there. And as we move into the next month, the new readings are up there. So you can go back and take a look at some of the something that you might have interest in, or you can, if you've attended a book club, a virtual book club, and you say, "Oh, I'd like to know more about that." The readings, the writings are there for you to do that. So I just want to remind you of that, and also who I am. I'm Reverend R. Ken, minister here at Unity of Chicago South. Again, the #1 online New Thought spiritual community streaming from Chicago. Okay, spiritual, spiritual abundance. Now, what's emphasized in this section, it's quite a bit covered, of course, but the takeaway for me, I don't know about you, was the emphasis that this is not religion. We're not talking about a religion, we're talking about spirituality, a much broader idea of the universe and the connection with the universe. I'm one with the universe is one with me. I'm in the universe the universe is in me. It is not my enemy. It is not preventing me from going forward in my life. In fact, if I emphasize that I want something enough, even if it's not good for me, I will find myself with it because the universe is constantly giving, and I'm in spiritual alignment with the universe. And if I'm not, that is something I need to do. Again, where do we go? We can go back to the mental block. What is preventing you from accepting the fact that the universe is for you and not against you? It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. You know, find a positive scripture. If you're a scripture person, find a positive poem that that you that invokes connection with all, and allow it to start coming alive in your life. It doesn't matter what religion you may practice or you may believe. You're a spiritual being before there was any religion. When you come out of your mother's womb, you are a spiritual being. You're not a particular religion. That's something that you adapt later on for whatever the reason. But you are a spiritual being. You are incarnated. And if we're not, and when I say we, I mean all of us, if we are not connecting with that truth, then we're missing the point. And he's saying that that's part of the lack in our life, that we can address the lack by addressing our connection of oneness. Wow. Just sit on that for a minute. So, what do we have? What do we have to this point? We know that there's a mental abundance. And that mental abundance, if it's not showing up in our life, there's some blocks, and we can examine those blocks. We know that there's emotional abundance, and that emotional abundance shows up as happiness, as love, as harmony. And if we're not experiencing that, then there's some blocks. We know that there's physical health abundance. And if we're not living at the peak of wherever we are, then there's some blocks. You say, well, what do you want? What do you mean by the peak of wherever we are? I can no longer run the mile that I could run 40 years ago, 20 years ago. Physically, I've changed. It's not this, I can't do it in the same time. I'm not able to do it in the same time, but I'm still able to walk a mile. You said, but you said run a mile. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I'm still able to walk a mile, and I want to hang my hat on. I want to hang my focus on. I want to hang my emotion on. I can walk a mile. Not I can no longer run a mile like I used to 40 years ago, 20 years ago. However, that's a mental block. That's a mental block that's inhibiting the full potential of the spiritual health that's already in us, waiting to manifest to whatever degree. Now, again, to whatever degree, to whatever degree. And it's not something to compare. Well, that person is on two crutches and a cane, and I'm only on a cane. So it always can be better. He's not saying, I mean, the writer's not saying that. What they're saying is look at your situation, get positive about your situation, whatever it is, to allow more of the good that you already have to manifest in your health and your finance. And then the spiritual abundance. One of Butterworth, I think, and it might be, I think it's in the writing. It is in the writing, as a matter of fact, I know it is. We already have enough faith. You don't get more faith. You get an opportunity to use the faith that you already have. And we are using it. Where is our faith in? My faith is in tomorrow's going to be as bad as yesterday was. My faith is in they don't like me, and they never have, and they never will. My faith is in I'm not worthy enough to get that promotion anyway. My faith, see, those are all statements of faith, none of which we would want in our lives, but many of us have some aspect of that type of faith in our lives. Well, Reverend, are you saying that I should have faith in something that's not existing? Like I should have faith in tomorrow's going to be better? Well, I think Scripture tells you, if you're in the Scripture, that faith has something to do with something unseen, right? It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't manifested yet. And usually, the negative stuff hasn't manifested yet either. It hasn't manifested yet either. But we still have faith in it. Tomorrow's going to be as bad as yesterday. Tomorrow hasn't even come yet, but we have faith that it's going to be that bad. So why not have faith on the other end that today was great and tomorrow's going to be better? Well, what was great about today? I made it in the house and out the house, in the house, whatever. Again, don't let the mental blocks continue to inhibit you. We have to start breaking them down so we can allow the unlimited abundance in all the areas of our lives to come forth. We can't do it as long as we have these blocks in our lives. We're talking about unlimited in every area. Not saying that, oh yeah, well I have abundance in this particular area, but I'm sad over here. It's really saying I can have it all. I can be totally happy the more I get in harmony with the universe that wants to give me, that has already provided for me all that I need. I just have to kind of work to uncover it. I have to work to uncover it. Wow. Dreams. This is the area that we have to be very careful about, and it's clear in the writings that we're not talking about just dreaming, just thinking, even though you know, drawing the idea, writing the idea down, those are common methods of manifesting one's desire. But the writings here tell us that that's not enough. We still have to do some work, So it's okay to dream. If we have a block, I can't sit around dreaming. They told me daydreaming is for children. I'm not a child anymore. They told me to stop dreaming and get real and get down to that work that I hate doing. And it's saying, well, no. Remember the love and harmony. One of the things in love, we have to find a way to love what we do. And if we don't love what we do, we have to find something we want to do that we can love. Wherever you're saying go out and quit your job. No, sir, I'm not saying that. Not saying that at all. I'm saying we have to find something that we do love, that we like to do, and get involved in that. So I have a job that I really don't like, but I have a hobby that I really wanted to get into. And what we're being told is that the energy from the love that we express and that comes back to us by participating in the hobby will lift us. That's not saying it's going to get you a new job. It's saying it will lift us into an area where we can experience more of the abundance, and that might be a different job. It may be. So don't stop dreaming, but don't just dream. Don't stop dreaming, but don't just dream. It's important to put some action behind the dream. No one can tell you exactly what that action is, but there is a oneness with the universe that can help guide you into steps if you're willing. But you can't have that mental block that says, yeah, it's a dream, I'll never have it. You see, as I said, the themes just kind of move right through the various sections of this particular reading. Wow. So, yes, if you stop dreaming, if you stop thinking that you could do better, be better, have more, then start. Start small if you have to, but start. Open that up. That's a whole treasure chest of power and energy that's being suppressed because I've been told that's childish. You better get real. I can do two things at one time. I can go out every day and be real and still have dreams that I'm working toward. Sometimes we get so caught up in going out every day in the real that we let the dream go away because it's just a waste of time. But we're being told here, no, it's not. No, it's not. Allow it to unfold because if it's in you, part of that kingdom that we've already been given, if it's in you, it has a possibility to manifest outside of you. Okay. And then finally, for this reading, talk, talks about Acres of Diamond, Cromwell's uh, awesome story that helped build and create Temple University. Okay, he went around and gave this speech over and over again all over the country and raised money, was paid, and it was part of the foundation to create and to bring into manifestation Temple University. And those of you that haven't read, and at this point, if you're making comments or asking questions, we're not going to be able to address them unless we do it. Okay, nothing's come through. Um, let's get back to Acres of Diamond. And the story goes that a person had looked. It's so befitting for so many of us. Had looked for a treasure for quite some time. had attempted to find a treasure for quite some time and decided that it was, his effort was futile. You know, it wasn't going to happen. And so they said, let me just sell this land that I've been digging, looking for. And he did. He sold the land. And of course, the owner, the new owner, the buyer of the land found diamonds right in the backyard. And that's what Acres of Diamonds is all about, if you don't know the short version. Well, for us on a metaphysical level, the land is our consciousness. The land is our consciousness. And often we will give up on seeking the answer from within. We'll give up. This spiritual stuff. I can go over here and they're telling me it's outside of me, and there's something that's going to fix it for me, so I'm going with that. The story, the Acres of Diamonds story, tells us that dig a little further, dig a little deeper, have a little more belief, understand that you're a spiritual being and spirit has answer. Know that there are blocks, mental blocks that you may no longer be aware of, but are still acting in your life. Are you seeing the good in other aspects of your life so you can build up a see the good attitude? So many lessons in the Acre of Diamond story. Well, we are at the end. I want to thank everyone who may be online to share this time with us. I want to remind you that we again have a this book club every third Sunday of the month, and that you can find ways to support what we do. Want to give you that information. Unity of Chicago. UnityOCS.org is how you can find us, and you can go to our support page also. Thank you so much for those of you that have hung in there. Thank you for those of you that might be new for checking us out. If you've come from WhoFish, if you've come from LinkedIn, if you've come from Twitch, welcome. I welcome you for this adventure. Know that we're here every Sunday at 11 a.m. live. Because we have some kind of recorded material, it's kind of hard to catch us on Twitch unless we're doing it totally live. And we do it totally live the third Sunday of every month, and also on the fifth Sundays of the month. The next fifth Sunday is in October, I believe it's the 29th. So, check us out. That's the best I can say. I'm Reverend R. Ken. This is Unity of Chicago South, the number one online New Thought spiritual community streaming from Chicago. I say to each and every one of you that the power to change your life is within you. The power to experience the abundance of the universe is in each of us. Let's find a way to tap in. Namaste.